Hey, I'm Tyler Halcomb, your favorite realtor and investor. Welcome to Agent X and Friends, where I interview the movers and shakers of the business and real estate industries in the Indianapolis and surrounding areas. Relax and enjoy the conversation. Ready to roll?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, welcome back to Agent X and Friends. That is the name of this podcast or interview if you didn't know that yet. But I'm here today with entrepreneur, founder, business owner, fellow Ball State classmate, chirp, chirp.
Chirp, chirp.
Collegiate golfer.
Yeah.
And then just overall great guy and family man. So today we have Anthony Lazzara of Anthony's Chophouse. So little clap.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on today.
Appreciate it.
So how have you been, dude? It's been so long.
Good.
I mean, I didn't think about how long that had been since.
I think, what are we coming on, 10 years now, 11 years?
I think it's over because I was saying 10 and it's over because 13, we're in 25 now.
Jeez, you're right. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So we got kids.
Yeah.
Now,
so
3.
I have 3 boys.
Yeah.
6, 3, and 16 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got a lot going on right now.
I got a lot going on. They keep me busy.
Yeah.
And they keep our household busy and wild. So, but I really don't. I don't miss any day of it. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's probably not the way to say that, but
I
don't miss any day. Cut that, edit.
Yeah, we'll have to cut that. But no, I got a 4-year-old girl and a 1-year-old boy.
Okay.
And so the girl was like perfect. Comes home, takes her shoes off, places them nice and neat. Like
probably plays by herself.
Yeah, plays by herself, tucks in the baby dolls at night.
Yeah.
And then the 1-year-old came. House is set up the exact same. And he comes in, moves his like tractor around the house, stands on stuff, gets on the countertops, chews on cords, tries to eat cat food.
Dude.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Completely different ballgame.
Yeah.
So I have 3 like that.
Dude, and they're all different
I
so
commend
far.
you.
I can't. I mean, my middle child, he wants me to throw him in his bed from the ceiling every night. And I'm just like, dude, you're going to bounce off and hit your head. He's like, I don't care, do it.
They just
I'm
love
like,
it.
you have too much energy. Like, go take a lap. Like something. Like you need to exhaust yourself somewhere.
It's a different ballgame. That
Yeah.
can wear you out.
Yeah. I didn't think that there was that big of a difference. I grew up with 3 sisters too.
Okay.
And my oldest sister has 4 girls. So like when I was in
Wow.
college, she was just starting to have kids and like
Yeah.
they were just chill and easy. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, kids are fine. And then have 3 boys and holy smokes.
Different ballgame.
Yeah.
My wife comes from a family of 4 girls too. So
Yeah.
that's just funny, the dynamic of how that happens.
Yeah.
But so how I like to always start these and to kind of get in your life and your upbringing when you talk about having sisters and things like
Yeah.
that. The first question I always ask is, you were born and then what? So can you just take me through just kind of the upbringing, the start?
So I was born 1989, actually.
Okay.
I was born here in Carmel.
Got it?
So kind of born and raised is kind of a tagline we actually want to use a lot this year. You know, I'm a family. I'm a pillar of the community.
Absolutely.
Our family's been here kind of forever. We give back to the community a lot, and we love Carmel. We love the city and the surrounding cities around us that we're bred here. My mom went to Carmel High School.
Wow.
My dad's originally from South Bend, so big Notre Dame fans, through and through for that.
Did you go to the game?
I did go to the game. It was a tough loss.
That's a little tough.
Ohio State's good. They're always kind of that X factor.
Oh yeah, that was gonna be a tough one.
But yeah, grew up playing all the sports that I could possibly play, and had 3 older sisters, so kind of.
So you're the baby.
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of dealt with that my whole life. But it's been great. We all live here locally. We're all really close. Our families are all close. I have uncles that live here, and they're all entrepreneurs as well.
I love it.
Yeah, I started, went to Carmel High School, then did a business plan then. So I kind of knew that's where I was going to go with my life was, business, because that's what my dad did. That's what my uncles have done.
That's interesting. So they actually had a kind of a program in Carmel.
Yeah.
To start that.
Yeah, it was called DECA.
Okay.
It's still there. It's at a lot of other schools, which is good. I know a lot of the larger schools because it's a different program, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's evolved over the years. Back then, I actually would leave school early and then go work. And wherever you worked, that was part of your grade.
That's an awesome program.
Yeah, it was great. It taught kids work ethic, and it taught them like the value of having a job and what the benefits were. And it was kind of what Ball State does, which is the hands-on learning experience.
So did that kind of trickle in? So from that, is that how you learned of the Ball State program from there? How did that kind of intertwine?
Yeah, I wanted to go to Ball State. That's where actually my father went. My older sister went there. A couple of my uncles went there as well.
Okay.
So, I'll be honest, school was not my thing in high school. And then I figured it out in college, how to study, how to do things right. And started to really understand what I was studying. I think it had to do I was actually passionate about what I was doing then.
That helps a lot.
Yeah. So I was actually like really eager to learn.
Yeah.
Where in high school, you're just forced to do what you need to do.
I know. I'm in the same ballpark. That was tough for me. Yeah. It was tough for me in high school to kind of fit through that. And then it was tough for me in college too, to get into that mindset. I don't know. I mean, you remember me. I was A+, always perfect, always on. Not really. But
we all had our fun in school.
We had a lot of fun out there. But
I did with DECA, you actually did, there were two ways you could do it. You could do a business plan or like marketing plan, or you could do like I forget what they called it, but it was basically where like you would sit down and they would give you a scenario and you had to work your way out of it.
Got it.
So I chose the business plan path because I knew that's what I wanted to do as a restaurant when I was a senior in high school. So then I went to Ball State, developed it more during their entrepreneurship program, which, as you know, being a classmate, that's all we did our last 2 years of school were write a business plan and research. So that's kind of where that went.
So I think that's crazy to know. I wanted to touch on that. Like, did you know you were going to do that? Did you already have the restaurant planned out prior to going? So you knew, you kind of had your thumb on it that you were going to start that, you go to Ball State, go to the entrepreneurship program. I learned about that through like a career psychologist program of, it's called Faley and DeBroda, where you go through and take a bunch of tests. And they even suggested, like I was kind of between IU, Ball State, and they were like, well, based on how you're testing here, you should maybe think about going to Ball State because they have an entrepreneurship program. And that's really interesting on how he was like, you might go to IU, do Kelly School or do this, but if you really, how we're seeing your career path, you might try that. And that's how I heard of it. So interesting path there. But for you just to already have your thumb on it, you had the restaurant in mind, then you could did you start that in high school and then even that kind of business plan and that course, and then you just brought it straight into the program?
Yeah. So through that DECA program, we wrote the business plan, and it was very similar to what we did in college, that you'd go present in front of a panel of judges. They would evaluate you.
That's super beneficial.
Yeah. I got second in state for my business plan, and then qualified for nationals, but chose not to go to nationals because I was playing high school golf then, and didn't think that I really needed to go to nationals. I dedicated my time to the golf team and committed to that. So I stayed, and I think we were in sectionals or something. So I was like, I can't miss sectionals to go do this. Yeah. And I knew I was going to go to Ball State at that point and do this program there. So when I got to Ball State, I had a really big basis for what we were going to do there. That helped me a lot. And then two, I was already knowing where and what I was going to do. So I had a lot of that groundwork done that I could just kind of really advance it versus figure out what I wanted to do, if that makes sense.
More high schools should definitely have more of that entrepreneurial mindset and not kind of that just like, did you memorize A, B, or C and pass? Like we really got to go that way. So for that to be happening, that's incredible to kind of get that head start on your shoulders there. So I wondered about golf. So then did you walk on there? Like you just joined the team? You have to try out? How did that happen?
So I actually got there my freshman year to Ball State, and I felt like something was kind of missing. I got to enjoy the freshman year of a freshman student in college. Right. I'd go to parties, I would go out and do stuff, and I kind of honestly felt like something's missing in me. And I think it was that competitive drive or competitiveness that I love. I love all sports, and I'm uber competitive. Yeah. And I reached out to the coach knowing that I played at Carmel. Right. And I had, D3 offers to go to some schools, but nothing D1. So I never really thought I was good enough to play D1. Yeah. I reached out to the coach there, and he had me do a tryout. I tried out, played fine. He's like, hey, we don't have any spots, but I'll let you practice for this season and just kind of monitor how much you practice, commitment and everything. So I got to practice for free, go play the course for free that they played at, which was great.
Amazing.
And I would go out there and practice. And then in the summer, he watched me play in summer Indiana golf events and watch how I did, basically.
Okay.
And I still remember to this day, I was playing over at, what was it called? It was the course over on 65 North, not. Anyway, it was over there. It's like 65 in Lebanon or Whiteland.
Okay.
And it was
should know that.
Right?
Yeah, we should know that on the South. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
okay.
And I remember being done with that event and the coach calls me as I'm kind of walking off. He's like, hey, I'm going to have a walk-on spot for you this year. And I was just ecstatic. So
beautiful.
Walked on as a sophomore in college, stayed my 4 years of eligibility, which is why I kind of did that 5 year from when I got into school.
Great.
So
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I technically got there in 08 and then left in 13.
Got it. Okay.
I'm
I didn't
actually
realize
a year older than you.
Oh, man.
All right. Yeah. So a little different, but yeah, a lot of people don't know that I did walk on and then played all 4 years.
So you had given it up. Like sports were done, going on to business.
Going on to just school.
Yeah, just going on to school, sports are done. And then you get to play on a D1 golf team.
Yeah.
And then how did that go? Was that, so you just enjoyed it? You loved it? You got better?
Loved it. Struggled my first semester, didn't really know that I was good enough, I think, mentally.
Yeah.
It kind of took a toll
imposter syndrome there a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm walking into a team that all these kids were highly recruited. I wasn't recruited.
Yeah.
I'm the walk-on. I'm the outsider. I don't live with any of them. They already built a rapport.
True.
Yeah. And so I get in there, I struggle in the fall. And then we were not a great team that year that I walked on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, thankfully that is probably what allowed me to get on the team. And I got into one event and honestly, I think I actually did the best on our team. Our number one guy was sick and he was playing with a fever. So I got kind of lucky.
You don't have to say that part.
Yeah. Well, it's all right. We were best men at each other's wedding. So it's kind of funny how it worked out. So,
wow.
And he was actually sick in that event, but still played. So I actually finished the best on the team in that event. And from then on, I think I missed maybe 4 events from that my freshman eligibility year.
Yeah.
To, when we graduated. And we improved every year. We made it to regionals our senior year and then nationals for the first time since like the 80s that the Ball State team made it to nationals. Yeah. It's really cool.
That's a really cool story. Just a call to the coach, checking to see if you could kind of check out the team, and then it all evolves to that.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It was fun. I mean, to put it in reference, when we were at nationals, John Rahm won nationals.
Wow.
So it's kind of cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
You got to play with John Rahm. Live guy.
Right. Live guy. Live guy now.
Live guy. That's all right. Well, let's talk Chophouse.
Sure.
So how quickly you graduate, you go to the top. Back then it was like Chase Tower, have the Shark Tank.
Yeah.
You pass, when do we get off the ground here? Like when does all this come to fruition? And this is just incredible, by the way, to hear and talk about business planning like in classes, and then actually sit down in here and like have this conversation with you, that it's all come to fruition. So when did that start? How did we get off the ground?
Sure. So, graduate from that day, basically find out we're graduating. I still had, since we went to nationals, I still had until June for being part of basically Ball State. So didn't walk or anything like that. Didn't have the chance to, which was fine.
Yeah.
I wanted to go kind of right out of the gate. I was eager. I was like, I want to get my life going. I want to do this. Yeah. And my dad was like, hey, no, let's pump the brakes here. Let's really work on what we want to do. And we started negotiating with the city on what this property that we're on wanted to look like. What was the city's goals? What did they want this whole district to start turning into? So we started that conversation with them, and we found out that this was going to be kind of the connection to all of Midtown, the Palladium, all that stuff, which was the Palladium was already there, but all that in between was nothing when we opened. Yeah, I remember talking about that. Even just being on the Monon right here was kind of different. It wasn't a huge deal, in 2010. And then 2013 graduate, worked in the industry for those 3 years. I worked for various uncles. I worked at another steakhouse and just tried to get as much, research and as much just kind of background experience as I could to come in and be ready to run something like this. Wow. And in the meantime, when I could, I had the benefit to go look at other restaurants and carry around a black book and take notes on, linens, glassware, silverware, server attire, design. What did we want this design to look like here in downtown Carmel?
So you kind of had a little hiatus of just being able to do market research, like boots on the ground.
As I was working too at the same time. Yeah,
because that's what I'm like. How do you even choose how to do this stuff? Like how to place these things? How do you figure out how to curate your menu? Like I'm looking through the menu the other day, and I'm like, dude, my mouth's like watering. Like how do you even get to think of putting each of these items on here? And does that change over time?
Yeah.
Does that, it's funny. If I went back through like files from Ball State, I could even see like Excel spreadsheets of people's programs, or just for what they thought they may put on the menus and all that. So that's such a huge part of the business, and it's just overwhelming to me. So, how do you curate a menu? I guess that's where I'm getting at. Like, how do you try out a bunch of different places, like everything you love, put it into one spot?
In any job, in any profession, I think R&D is really important. Even in yours, you could go to a whole nother market and talk to a realtor group out there.
True.
And you're going to learn what they do differently than what you guys do. And you got to kind of think of that too for the food industry, that for the food or the menu, I spend a lot of my time. Nowadays, you can go online and look at people's menus. You can see some of their photos, but you can't actually try them. So any chance I get, whenever I go out of town or I go to places, I go to steakhouses. I go to newer restaurants just to see ideas, trends. Especially if you go to New York or Las Vegas. I personally think Las Vegas is probably the best food scene in the country.
Yeah.
A lot of people would say New York, but all the top chefs are now going to Las Vegas and opening something. Once you get F1 there and an NFL team, it's kind of hard not to.
True.
But you do that. And then a big thing for our philosophy here is we surround ourselves with really, really good people at their craft.
For sure.
So I believe we have some of the best bartenders in the state.
Yeah.
We have some of the best culinary team in the state. We have the best managers in the state. And I wanted to bring all them together. So then we work as a group. So I might come to the chef, and this is how kind of our menu curation works, that we change it twice a year. And I'll sit with them and say, hey, for example, let's put, a ceviche on the menu. Or a crudo, let's say a crudo on the menu.
Yeah.
And people would be like, oh, crudo, it's just raw fish that you're just putting on there. You might put a jalapeno on there or something like that. And I'm like, no, here's kind of this, here's kind of my ideas, but then like you run with it. And then they present back to me and one of the other managers, and we sit and taste and have an open dialogue about, hey, is this what our clientele want? Or is this fitting to our brand?
Like, here's your chef's spin on it.
Correct.
And then let's see if that's going to fit with our product here.
Correct. And every chef has their own kind of niche. And our chef has a Moroccan background. He's from Morocco. So that adds to a lot of his flavor, his plating.
Yeah.
He's got French training. And he's also got a pastry background, which is kind of rarer to find in most chefs these days.
Yeah.
And then our front of house leader, Colin, he's been in this industry so long and has so many experiences, from seafood to fine dining to the wine list is so boutique, it's so unique.
Yeah.
And that's his passion. So I kind of have a passionate wine guy and service guy with a passionate chef.
Yeah.
And then me, and we just bounce ideas, and we just continue to grow. And that's how these menus get curated, that it's an open dialogue.
Man, first off, that's a way more fun to do R&D, of being able to go around and try everybody's best stuff at their restaurants, and then you get to put that into your menu instead of me just going to different markets and like seeing different how realtors do. That's a way more fun.
Yeah, it is fun. My wife always enjoyed when I was like, hey, we need to go to Chicago and do some R&D. Sure. She's like, okay.
Absolutely.
Before we had kids.
Yeah, we got to do some business over here. It's like, I'm in, let's go.
Yeah. It is fun. And that's what I love about this industry, is it's a fun industry.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's taxing. The hours are different than any other job.
Yeah, true.
Besides probably doctors or medicine. But you meet so many cool people, and it's fun. It's impactful on people's lives to watch somebody try a cool wine they haven't tried, or to eat a dish that they've never had before, and to get them into something. You don't really get that reward unless you're there with them.
Yeah.
And like we get to see it day in and day out from every table if we want.
Yeah, that's entertainment. That's like it's an entertainment industry too, almost.
It is.
I saw some other videos. I think it was with Colin too. But the whole pairing, a meal with a wine or with a cocktail is so interesting to me. Like how you just the intricate details on how this is actually going to make your palate with this drink, and this type of meal. So
it's funny. We just went to dinner, he and I, the other day, and I'm looking through the wine book. He's like, well, what wine are you going to get? And I was like, I don't know yet. And he goes, well, do you know what you're getting for dinner? I go, no. I go, but I'm actually doing this backwards. I go, I think I want to pick my wine first, and then I don't really care what I'm eating. I don't really care what I'm eating, so I'll just pick my food afterwards based on the wine that I picked. Fair. And he kind of looked at me, and he's like, most people pick the food, and then they pick the wine to pair with it, which is what we talked about in our conversations with Colin.
I saw that.
But it can kind of go either way, honestly. I mean, if you're a wine guy and you want to pick your wine.
I think I'm kind of that way too.
Yeah, because I don't really care on the food that I eat. I'll eat anything.
I saw when you said he has a French background, you're back to like your cook as kind of a French, I think it was like a French crusted lamb rack or something.
Pistachio French lamb rack.
I was like, oh, that sounds so good. I'm going to have to get this. This is making me hungry. This just talking about all this stuff. But I'm about to pair that. I figure out how to ask somebody how to pair me with a wine on that or what I'm supposed to drink with that. Yeah. But I love also that your menu is just fun. So with like the cocktail menu on how they get to kind of have their signature cocktails. Yeah. And I think it was Ainsley down there. And I'm like, oh, look, this is what her like signature drinks that she likes. And it's just fun to kind of put that personality with drinks. And so we have to talk about the FU money.
Sure.
So how does this come about?
Sure. So as we talked about the food menu and leaning on, our team and their expertise, we do the same with the bar team. So as we sit and present food to us and we taste and try, we do the same with cocktails.
Yeah.
We sit there and they present, 5 different vodka drinks, 5 bourbon, rum, whatever. And we sit, we taste, we see what we think our guests will like again. And then we see what their creativeness is and how unique is it.
Yeah.
We've had some really creative cocktails that I believe were awesome and you might. Yeah. But we didn't sell a ton of them. So you have to always kind of balance out what your market is and what people are going to want.
Right.
The FU money, we've always been trying to put like, your millionaire martini, something like that unique on there. And Zach Wilkes, one of our main bartenders down there, he's down there today. Yeah. Small guy. He's only about 6'10".
I saw him when
he's only about 6'10". So you'd think, what are you doing behind the bar there, man, instead of out on the football field?
Right.
But he is one guy that he could try any drink and know exactly what it's missing or what it needs. And he said, I want to put this on there. I've been trying to do this for a long time. And we wanted to come up with names for these that are fun and creative. So we came up with FU money. Yeah. Because it's a $500 cocktail.
$500 cocktail.
Yeah. It's a Louis XIII cognac that has been bone marrow washed.
Rare.
Yeah. Old fashioned. So basically we order a bottle of Louis and we soak it in bone marrow. All the liquid, and then pour back into the bottle, and then we are selling that as an old fashioned. It is so delicious. It is so smooth.
I've heard there's a presentation with this as well, right?
Yeah. So they wear black or white gloves.
Okay.
The bottle comes out. We're pouring it right there for you at the table, and you get a crystal glass. Everything's kind of that elevated experience.
People order this. Like this isn't. They were like, yeah, someone ordered one last night. Yeah. This isn't just something
that night you were there. I think someone had ordered it, or the night before. Yeah.
These are actually getting ordered. It's just kind of like it's almost like a dare. It's almost like what you gotta do it.
When you're in an affluent community, whether you're here, Scottsdale, Miami, whatever, something fun like this. There's always going to be people that want to do this and want to have that experience. And again, you said it earlier, it's an experience more than it really is a cost thing. And if they want that experience and want to do it, then by all means, we want to be that avenue for them.
Absolutely. You can tell as you get older and you're eating out a lot and you kind of, the experience to me is everything. Like I could go anywhere and just get the same old thing. But you can tell when you walk in and you sit down for a meal, it's just very professional, but also fun, like with the menu too. Yeah. And just a great experience all around, great food. So, I don't know. I want to talk about the future of like what's the future of restaurant industry in general, maybe, or what is the future? You see any changes coming? I mean, there's AI is all the buzz and things like. I don't know if that's going to change anything here. This is so like an intimate experience here. So I don't. Do you have any insight on like the future of restaurant?
I mean, the restaurants are always evolving. Just the restaurant industry as a whole. I mean, we went to a show. National restaurant show 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And the amount of AI or robotic chefs to robots delivering food to tables is
crazy.
It's going to be a thing eventually. I think it'll definitely be for national chains or national huge, companies. Mm-hmm. But for something like us, like you said, we're an intimate, we are a dining experience, and we all know phones, AI, all that stuff kind of removes the human from it.
Right.
And that's not what we're about. We're about connections, making that, intimate feeling when you sit down in our space.
Yeah.
The future for us here, we don't know. I mean, it can go many different ways. Do I want to open another concept or duplicate and do this? Of course. I mean, if I wasn't, then I wouldn't really be an entrepreneur. I'd just be, a restaurant guy.
Right.
So I'm always looking for the right opportunity, but it has to be the right opportunity for us. It has to be the right time for us for growth. We have to have our people in place. I have, just like you, I have actually a lot of passion about real estate.
Yeah.
That's actually
great. I want perfect transition. You got me go. I want to hear about that.
Sure. So, my cousin owns his own kind of commercial development remodeling company.
Mm-hmm.
And he and I went together in on a property in Westfield because we saw an opportunity for Westfield and how that area is continuing to boom.
Boom. Yeah.
Yeah. The new mayor up there is putting a lot of funding and backing to grow that city.
Yeah.
From its downtown area all the way through Grand Park. So we had an opportunity to grab a piece of property up there and, open a restaurant, a commercial building, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Not for me to actually put something in there, if that can kind of be the fail safe, but to just kind of dabble into the real estate side of things and see how that is. When we built this building, I love the development. I love having something as, gravel turn into this and going through that process.
It's so fun. Yeah.
It's a blast. And walking through it every day, looking at the details and the drawings and the attention to detail is just, it's fun for me. I love it. So want to kind of dabble in that and see what that kind of is. And
so we don't know where that's going yet. We've got the spot, but we don't know what's going in there.
No, we don't know what's going in there yet. We have the property and we're starting on construction probably here in this year, but don't have a tenant totally lined up yet. Haven't really tried doing anything yet.
Yeah.
Kind of making sure we had all of our ducks in a row before we started. Since we're both,
that's exciting.
We're both have other businesses, and this is kind of our one-off side thing.
Right.
And then for the future of LRG Restaurants, which is our parent company here that does Anthony's and 3 Up, our rooftop lounge.
Yep.
We'll eventually probably open something here in the future. It's just, like I said, it has to be the right time, the right opportunity. And
I'll have to keep my eye on that out there. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
So, and then I did want to talk about 3 Up a little bit. How are events going there? What's some of the fun events you've done up there? I hear about 3 Up a lot.
So 3 Up's our rooftop. It's indoor outdoor. So it's about 75% covered. And about 50% inside. So it's open all year round. It's our kind of gastro pub lounge setting. So the whole thought of that was you could come to dinner down here at Anthony's and then finish with a cocktail upstairs, or you could start with a cocktail up there, finish downstairs. Or if you just wanted, casual night out, there aren't any other really rooftop bars in Indiana.
Right.
That's 3 stories up.
For sure.
That is overlooking kind of what Carmel was doing at the time and the beautiful, buildings of Carmel that we have. I mean, obviously we're not a 50-story high rise of New York, which are beautiful rooftops, but for what we have here, I mean, we love it.
You get to see, all the surroundings and just, it's a good,
it's a good buzz.
Yeah. It's a good, and it's a switch of atmosphere. Like you get, cool, different atmosphere all in the same spot.
Yeah. And it's open Wednesday through Saturday.
Okay.
The hours are 5 to 11 in the summer, 5 to midnight on the weekends.
Okay.
We do live music Friday and Saturdays. In the summer, we open Saturdays during the day.
Yeah.
And then we do a DJ all day. So it kind of has that like San Diego, Scottsdale vibe to it, where you have music going all day. You can come and do some day drinking, or you can come and just hang out in the sun. You know, if sports are going on, when the Olympics were going on, we were airing the Olympics. We did a Taylor Swift theme party last year up there. We do a New Year's gala every year, or a New Year's event. This coming year, we're going to do a derby event.
Oh man, I'm going to have to come to that. That'll be fun.
Everyone's got to be decked out in derby gear and like dressed to the nines, and then we'll play the race or have the races going all day up there.
That'll be fun.
It'll be a ticketed event, and we'll have the whole space filled out. We might partner with, you know, somebody, one of the bourbon companies or something that want to be part of it, and you know, make some mint juleps, some hot browns.
Oh man, that'll be so fun.
Yeah,
that'll be cool.
That's how we're slowly evolving that space into that fun atmosphere where people are like, oh man, what event are they going to do this year? What event are they going to do this summer that we want to be part of?
That's a great, just like business adjacent, just vibe switch up. I mean, that's so cool. And if people are already coming here, why not give them, if that's what they want to, let them have that too, and just see what the people want. I love that. How much of an after, like when did 3UP come in? Was that all the same time? Yeah. When did that kind of come into play?
During my research, before we opened all this, I met a company in Lexington, actually. Had nothing to do with the Derby. And I know it's kind of funny we were talking about that.
Yeah.
And they had a concept that had kind of a finer dining. It wasn't as fine as this dining like experience, but then it also had a bar attached to it. They labeled it a separate restaurant and separate name. And I was like, interesting. I was like, why? What made you guys want to do that? And they said we can cater to multiple demographics in one spot and operate out of a single use building. And we were like, rooftops were big back in 2018 when we opened, and like that was kind of the fad that was coming. I'd gone to one in Louisville. I've gone to some in Scottsdale and just kind of see what they were about. And it's hard for Indiana for us to do it because of the weather. Right. I mean, obviously we're in a gray state except for today.
As we were just talking, like it was last week, it was snow flurries, and now actually all of a sudden it's 45 or whatever.
45 and sunny. Hopefully all the snow melts.
Beautiful.
Right? Yeah. So we had to figure out a way that we could have a beautiful space up there and not it just be a summer spot.
Right.
And so it was kind of an afterthought. Once we started building this building, we were like, all right, we have the steel, we have the structure. Let's put a rooftop on there. What's that going to look like?
Yeah.
And so I kind of went back to the drawing board of, all right, now I have to adjust my plans of, you know, a whole nother kitchen, a whole nother staff, a whole nother concept, menu, cocktails, everything. So essentially we opened 2 restaurants within 2 months of each other.
Man.
Yeah.
Glutton for punishment there. That's
it was a tough first 3 years. Actually, really first 8 months, and then COVID came.
Yeah, I was about to say, then you got COVID smack dab in the middle of that, right?
So, but we were fortunate in Carmel. I think, as anyone would say up here, that you know the suburban areas thrived because people weren't driving into the cities for work anymore and stuff like that. So, after COVID kind of came out and it was done, we went back to normalcy up here pretty quick.
Yeah, same in the real estate industry. We thought everything was shutting down. Got to stay home, can't do anything, and then you come to find out, boom! Like, hey, we can't go to work right now, so we're going to go out and look at houses, or we may not be able to go back for another 2 months, so we might as well move while we have this time. And that just went crazy when no one saw that coming in the real estate industry as well.
I feel like in the past 5 years since COVID, the amount of people working in residential or commercial real estate has become
really popular.
Yeah, the numbers have to be like thousands of growth percent. I couldn't imagine, because anybody I talk to would be like, yeah, I'm getting my residential real estate.
Getting my license.
I'm like, I get it, because if you're in Carmel, the houses went up. Yeah, 200% values.
Very
and I was
saturated.
Just like, it's like, how can so many people be doing this?
It's the 80-20 rule. And maybe, it's just like, 80% of the people are doing, 20% of the people are doing 80% of the business type of deal. It kind of seems, that kind of seems to hold true. But I mean, if you can make it right now, it's tough to make it, because it is really saturated with everybody's got, I was listening to another podcast the other day. It's like, everybody's probably got 6 to 7 realtors in their phone. Yeah. So they're choosing from one of them, and then you got people more pouring in.
Why choose that one person?
Right.
What separates in your guys' world?
Exactly.
I have an uncle that's in it. Would I choose him, or is he kind of out of date and doesn't have access to? 100%. It's really access of what that realtor has, and, right?
Access to what they have, and just how current are you active right now? There's a lot of people that do one deal a year. you know?
Really?
So, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just
so how
a
active,
monster.
when you get to see several transactions going on at once and really understand what's going on in the market today, like especially during COVID, if they hadn't done a deal in a couple years and you're doing, several deals at once and understanding the market to where we were writing it, you had to get really creative during that time. I think we were talking about this on another one where like people were writing, and we'll send you pizza every single Friday up until closing, or here's Colts tickets.
Really?
Or here, like just to stand out and be different and different offers. So there was a lot of different people, paying over appraised value and waiving inspections or just doing interesting things with their inspection contingencies and things like that. So if you didn't know that, if you weren't really active like in the market, you wouldn't have known that, and you would lose 100% of the time. That was the only way to get deals done. So I don't know. You got to be able to separate yourself. And these right here, these interviews that we're doing, Agent X and Friends, that's going to separate from other realtors.
I agree with you.
Kind of doing other stuff, getting out of the box, doing different things.
Yeah.
You really got to be on top of it. And just like having 3-Up Lounge, like that's just so out of the box, but it transcended perfect. And that's what's going to bring other people through the doors here too when they, so.
I know if I can't sleep, I look at realtor.com basically or Zillow. And I like looking at homes.
Zillow.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. It's fun to look at homes and just see like what people do. I love the design and kind of the architecture of stuff. The amount, like I'll text my uncle or something and be like, hey, I was like, that house was only on the market for a day. He's like, yeah, it had a cash offer.
Yep.
And 20% over asking. I'm just like, the amount of cash offers that now happen for homes, if you're not in the know with them, like you said,
true,
you're going to lose a house.
True.
It's insane. And so many people are always looking to move or whatnot. And there might be the perfect house. And someone's going to come in and just be like, yeah, I'll give you $150,000 more than what you're asking.
True.
Sold.
True, because we just want it and we don't,
Exactly.
So,
and then you're going to put all your effort and energy into that and get it done.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, sign this now. Let's go. Let's get it off the market.
For sure. All right. Even like some people are just starting out looking or whatever. So they're like, I like this one, but so let's just put a kind of offer in here. I like it, but I haven't really seen enough. And we're like, no, you lost because this person's lost out on 3 or 4 others. Yeah. So when they look at this one, they're going in, guns a-blazing on this. So it's gotta have your ducks in a row during that time. It's been a crazy ride from the past since going, since 2013 and get into this to where we're at in 2025. It's been way different. And AI in the future and all that's gonna change things too. With
How's
all
that
this.
affecting your guys'?
Just
industry.
with, they say, but I hold the value of like agents still are going to be, you got to be a forward facing agent and everything like that. But AI is going to change the way you look at houses or the way you're able to view homes or write offers or,
really?
They're trying ways. And like in Zillow wasn't even around back when I started. So that's kind of different too, taking, the agent MyBor and stuff that's around here out of people's hands and into Zillow. They thought that was going to end realtors, and things like that.
That's true, because you can kind of do it all on there, right?
Or
that's their model.
Exactly. So we're still here. I don't think we're going anywhere, but
it's hard.
But yeah. So I love this has been awesome. So we're going to get into an ending kind of segment. How are we doing on time? 38, man, we've been rolling. It feels like we've been talking for 15 minutes.
I know, right? I don't feel like 38 minutes.
Crazy. So we're going to head into our final segment here, the cheesy final segment here, Turbo Time with Tyler. Okay. So it's rapid fire questioning. And you have to answer just off the top of your head and go from there. Hasn't really gone that way, which is kind of funny. We call it Turbo Time, and it's like a long segment. It wasn't supposed to go that way. But I think I'm good. I think I'm ready for this one. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Turbo Time with Tyler. Red or white wine?
Red.
Medium or medium rare?
Depends on the cut.
I knew you would say that. Old fashioned or Manhattan? I don't even know the difference of those two. Okay. Manhattan, really? That surprises me.
It's honestly the glass. I like a drink up, and Manhattans I get up.
Interesting. I never thought of it that way.
I like them both, but I like it up like that. And I used to not like the sweet vermouth, and I do kind of now. So
okay. All right. That's great to know. Driver or putter? Switching up on you. You got to choose one. Okay. Par 3 or par 5?
Par 5.
morning tea time or afternoon tea time?
Morning.
All right, I got to set up for tomorrow morning to hit the course. I'm just kidding. Thanks a lot, dude.
Yeah.
This was awesome. It was nice to catch up again. Yeah. And sorry, hit the
You're
mic
good.
on here. And hear about all that I didn't know about. So really appreciate you coming on. And this ends Agent X and Friends, Anthony's Chophouse. We got Anthony Lazzara. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.